2002 National General Election Parliamentary Committee, Honorable Allan Bird, Deputy Honorable Puka Temu, and all the honorable members who are members to the committee, and Electoral Commission staff, public and reporters, and Papua New Guinea people, citizens in general. Let me, at this first day of the time to inquire into elections, for and on behalf of the Electoral Commission and good wishes to voters in the province and in the council wards, and as citizens of the country, we would like to thank the government and especially the chairman and the deputy chairman and the team, elected members who have decided to take up the responsibility to inquire into the elections, how elections are being run and how we need to improvise the election systems in the country. As we reflect back, as you rightly said, that we have never had one of such committee in the past. We have just been running elections. And for me, with the Electoral Commission, and as we endeavor to manage elections in the country, I appreciate that this committee is, and the government and the people, and some of you have now come to realize that elections and the democratic process of running election in the country is far more important. And that now you have come out to help Electoral Commission and our people to manage the elections in the country as we wish and like. Now, I don't want to dwell any further, but thank you very much for the opportunity that you have given us and the things that we have been experiencing to share with all of us as from the Electoral Commission, so that we can work together towards improvising the process. As we all know, elections are run 5 years concurrently. That's by law. And the important thing, the Electoral Commission is mandated to conduct election and do preparations. Now, in the haste of trying to get together the operations and to conduct and appreciate the democratic election process in the country, to give opportunity to the people right across 6,000 plus council wards and the LGs is a mammoth task. And yes, although it is so mammoth, that is our responsibility. We go to manage and deliver the elections as we wish to and decide. The Electoral Commission's responsibility is to make available the necessary voting power with the people, but voting tools to the people to make their choice or exercise their power. And that is, our goal is to make available a polling team to the people to cast the vote. And that is the call by law for Electoral Commission to do. Now, there are critical components that is managed within the Electoral Commission. As you, Chairman, rightly said, there are some areas of concern that is to be managed by all of us. We are managing two particular sectors of the election process. There are external environment where people are involved and the internal environment where we are managing. And within the internal environment, we need capacity, we need to equip the Commission, and we need to plan and we need time and resources. That's the internal environment. And the external environment is cooperation, working together, and respect the process, and government systems must be respected at all times, and people take ownership. Now, those are the main things that we expect from all of us. The election cycle in the country, as we all know, is few. We conduct awareness, and then we prepare electoral roll. Now, then we accept nominations. Then we conduct polling, and then we conduct counting, polling, counting, and then the last bit is the election petition. So that's the main points or main components that the Electoral Commission manages. Now, very importantly is, Chairman, you are rightly saying the electoral roll need to be fixed, and voter list must be corrected, picked up, and listed out, and get the people prepared to cast the vote. Now, that information, according to law, Electoral Commission must prepare an electoral roll 6 months before the elections or next anniversary of any election, especially general elections. So now, before any other operation that can take place, the electoral roll must be fixed, and the voting population must be prepared in order to get into elections. Now, we have tried many times and different attempts to update the roll, and since elections up to today, even there was no perfect roll that we find. We have people in the villages, we have people in the council wards, we are defined, we are structured to that level. However, we are finding it very difficult to collect the data and the honest data. That is a concern. And how do we do that? Who is the responsible entity or the department or the government agency to do that? Electoral Commission, before any elections, like I said, 6 months, we need to prepare electoral roll. Now, we take it as it is by law and start to, prepare, do budgets and try and go out to various districts and in the electorates and in council wards and in ALLGs, collecting information and trying to identify the 18 years plus and the voters, justify them or qualify them by way of doing roll cleansing and say, see the electoral roll, is this your name, and all of that. That we have to do it before the next elections to come. From experience, the roll was done 6 months or 1 year before the elections. And that collecting 5 million electoral roll data for all the voters in 6,375 plus council wards and 5 million voters, it's a task. And we use the base roll that we have, the existing one, to go and try to do verification and then head on the target on the 17 years old, those who have 10 or would have 10, 18 before the next election. Okay, that is our primary task. Now, we used our existing role as one of the bases. If you could remember, before the 2012 elections, late Sir Andrew Traven discarded the whole role and said because it was faulty, so he said, let's go and do up a new one. So to try to do a new one, we did not base on any of the information that is belong to any of the agencies, but we just have to go back and start enrolling again, starting from the council ward, and list all the voters. And so we try to make that as our role. And from there we maintained up to today. And we continue to update. Now, during the process, we see the differences of some of those voting population. It's not matching with the number of people on the ground and the role that we have, and it's still being messy. The process that we are using is because Electoral Commission does not have the capacity to maximize to that level to capture the information that we need. We hire people to do that for us, because within the short period of time, like 6 months, for instance, the next elections to come, and when we send those people and hire, preferably the public servants in the provinces, say the provincial administration, the LLG managers, and then the district administration staff, and village court officials, and councillor, and the committees in the ward areas to support us, identify the voters, and do cleansing and enrolling. That has been the method that we have been using all of this time. There is no other better way to do any role. The only way, or to some extent, if we like, need to prepare much more in advance and earlier to come up with a better understanding of the real number of people living in a council ward who are voters, who need to be enrolled and prepared for the elections. Our short term or few months work to identify a voter is not a way forward. So that's the role. We needed enough time. We know the council wards. We are working in basing polling schedules. We are working in basing awareness, working in basing the teamwork and identifying of voters, and all of that. We have a structure there, just that we need timing to prepare ourselves properly, especially to identify voters. The Papua New Guinea structure is very good. We have LLGs, we have council wards, we have attorney generals, village court officers, and peace officers there. They can help to assist to maintain the records, and we can capitalize on that. But we just need to do it properly. But electoral commissions, we are only targeting the voters and 18 years old plus. So that is something that we need to do according to law. Now, figures coming from census, figures coming from NID will, yes, soon to be what we can work together. But that is after when the list is done. Electoral Commission by law, we will still have to prepare a role based on the information, that we gathered from those entities, if they have a complete and comprehensive database of the country. Otherwise, to prepare elections, we will still need time. I don't want to cast doubt or question any person or anybody. The work is very easy. It's just that Honorable Chairman and Honorable members and the team, we just need enough time. That's all. Just need enough time to do up the role properly. If we can start, like I appreciate the committee you have started now, and if we can start talking about and discussing and start doing up the role from now, we can talk about looking at something closer to accuracy, not 100%, but 95-90 from the role that that we can do verifications, identify them properly, go to village and sit down 30 days, 60 days, sit and start checking the names and confirm it and enroll them. And then we have a plan that we'll have to check, go on awareness, May, June, December, come and enroll, check your enrollment. So we got periodic 2 times or 3 times a year check our officers on the ground. They can be able to do that. In 6 months and 3 months before the elections, it's totally impossible because we don't have the capacity, the manpower. We only have 1 or 2 officers on the ground, and we will have a shortfall in time. Now, people might want to discuss about biometric, that we can come later, but I will not want to dwell on that because biometric up to today, this time, I have seen Papua New Guineans' attitude with biometric. We have to, the committee have to do some in-depth inquiry, in-depth check, and check all the systems and how people can trust. Let me trust the system, let some other trust the system, and the voter must trust the system, and everybody else who are participating need to trust the system. The supporters and everybody must trust the system, how it's going to produce, and it will take how much time to do awareness and understand the process and trust the hair when we talk about biometric. So in terms of when I will not come back to any recommendations here, but as we have discussed and thinking, we would like to, we have tested portal rolling at Kupiano one time, and we did portal roll at Giasu in Mosby Northwest, Geru, and we started doing portal roll at the Motu Kota, and that is at least doing our best, try to cut down on some of these unnecessary names and ghosts and whatever to identify the people. So that's why we started doing a portal roll. That's one. 2, village personal visitation to the villages, and house-to-house survey is the best, but we need time. Portal rolling is the next, and issuing ID card or just one paper card. We're going to check and then cut the ID card and give it to them, and this is your voter ID, which is, we already have ID for the voters already on the roll, and that ID will now be converted into an ID card or voter ID and issue it on the time we do the check. Those are some of the things that we are expecting to do now. The second problem that we have, Honorable Chairman, is the logistics. Logistics, not necessarily all the, because we have a attitude problem, we try to, manage all those attitudes, and we need a lot of things to run elections. And, we have tried 1-day polling in the Highlands because we cannot allow 2-3 days, and because people start double voting and fighting. So those are some of the things that we wanted to do. But logistics is something very serious in PNG. We just don't have all the helicopters that we need. We just don't have the ship. We don't have all the vehicles that we need. So we're hiring them, and we ask them to help us. A lot of our places are very remote. But if we can plan early and identify those places and create some incentives, we can try to cut down on the logistic aspects. I think again, Chairman, I don't want to dwell too much, but we need advanced planning on the logistics. PNG don't have helicopters. Last election, we have never had any helicopter companies. Some 1 or 3, and because I don't want to talk about challenges and negatives about this, but when people see that there is trouble fighting and in elections, not many of the companies want to lease the helicopters to Electoral Commission when they say go into elections, and when they go and the people become rowdy down there, they they turn back. So how do we get back there because of the remoteness. So all of these things maybe create some intensive, like, double the polling officials and carriers and go back to the patrol community government or previous cap time system, and conduct pollings, maybe increase the allowances, or some kind of contract to sources out or something like that. We can look at that. But logistics is real problem until all our places, like in West Sepik, places like Million Bays, all of Wata, Western Province, part of Mending, even Central here, Goilala, those areas we find it very raw. In Mending, in Western Islands, in Hela, in Henga, there's a lot of places that road need to link, so we can maximize the election operations smoothly if we like. But we are doing fine. The government is talking about connecting PNG, and eventually we'll get there. But for now, it's logistics. But those are things that we can manage with the resources we have. But identification of all of those things, and if we are going to source it from outside based on basic needs or specific needs, then we will need time to, like for instance, if we need a helicopter or companies from Australia to come, then we need advanced planning, advanced arrangements, so that they can come in time and start helping, but not later. So all in all, Chairman, in 2017 and on back to 2022, we were proposing that we should have a 5-year plan for the elections for 2022. I've done submissions, I've done a lot of plans presented to relevant authorities, but like that, in that presentation we say, now look, 2023, for instance, today we do some planning for the role, and 2024 plan some logistic arrangements, and 2005 is confirm and firm up all those ones, and 2006 is election, and 2007 is polling and counting, 2006 logistic placing, 2004 and 3 is
sorry, can I correct you? It's
yes.
2023, 2024.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah.
Just so that we have clarity for those who are viewing.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I meant to say 2023, 24, and 25, 26. So we have the 2003, 4, 5 to plan. 6 is confirming of logistics and enrollment and all that. 7 is polling and counting. 6, identification of logistics, confirm all of those. Officials confirm everything. 7, 2027, polling. 2023, 24, 23, start doing the role. 24, start firming up and making arrangements for the logistics and see which are the best areas to work. So that's the kind of what we see. I think, Chairman, thank you. You have taken the opportunity to say this. We need a lot of time to do that. The LBV system, I think I've said that. All the trainings, everything else, we all know. All of us, we have run elections, we have participated in elections, all of those, we know good and the bad side of everything. But the LBV, if you could remember with me back in the past elections, the first past the post, we had a lot of trouble, and LBV was instructed to give an opportunity to the people because they were fighting because of one vote, so we give them opportunity for 3 chances to cast a vote. And that worked very well and cut down on a lot of violence. But in terms of polling and counting, there is a workload to manage the process. However, I think LBV system helped in many ways. Giving the opportunity and cut down opportunity for the run-ups and cut down on problems and troubles that was faced by a lot of people, and we had to go back and start developing the place again. But there are different views about this. But for Electoral Commission, we have enjoyed trying to manage the LBB system, and that we also feel safe with running elections with the LBB system. For the management issues within the commission is just the processes. But LBB system, the counting, we need a lot of awareness, if you like. The people must know the power of this tree. We had an instance where there was a bill that was going to be presented at the parliament, thinking that the votes must be, there's a different understanding into the LBB system, and people say the voting power. People were given opportunity or no double voting by 1, 2, 3, and we say no, the vote is, one vote is transferring to the rest. And so these are things that people need to understand as to why the LBB system is and how it works, how the power transfers from vote first preference, second to the third. So all of those things are that people need to understand. I think Deputy Chairman rightly said we have run LBB system many a times, and a lot of people are getting used to. And in many ways we are applying this system, but the idea for the LBB system was to get this person and this person contesting the same area should give the first to the relative and the second vote to the leader that is prepared. And if he does not, or the first and the second does not, then go to the third. So that was the idea, to get the prepared and majority rule vote leader to be voted in. I think now the approach and the way we are using the LBB system is probably different out there in the field. And I think that those are most important things, unless some queries or questions that arises. But our way forward to looking at the enrollment is we need a ample time, advanced plan, spread out 3 years. Let us do planning. And polling, if you like, we are thinking about centralized polling. Let me elaborate a little bit on that. Meaning, can we, or is it possible for us to centralize the polling for one electorate in the 3 LLGs that we have? This particular LLG goes to their own LLG chamber area, and the other particular LLG goes there, and all of those they do go and do polling there. In the council ward, the people from the ward levels go to their location and start casting the vote. So we don't spread out the police manpower, stretching out and causing a lot of damages and destruction out there in another polling place when some are doing fine and the other ones are getting into trouble. So instead of doing that, we give them an opportunity in 30 days, maybe if 60 days, still all right. So allow them to, come and cast a vote, and we divide them into their council votes area. Like, for instance, now with the LLG, according to record and the management structure, we pay LLG, and LLG manager is managing 14, the minimum, and maximum 35. So we are within the manageable bracket of the LLG, and that 20 to 30,000 population that can come forward to cast the vote in a centralized location. And that can be allowed. Before we could do that, we issue them with a card. We get them on the portal roll, and portal roll with the ID card. When we issue the ID card and they come to the centralized location, they are free. This environment is locked out by police, and the polling team are in there. And the voters get into the polling team, and you are free now. No one is seeing you, no one is intimidating you. You are called in, you have provided your identity already and your card, and you are identified by the photo roll, and you are now into the polling place, and now you cast your vote without having been intimidated or influenced by any factor. And then because of the police and everybody there, they, LLG, they count there. We tried it last election, 2022, because we had no time, so I said, go ahead and count LLG by LLG. We tried it because we just didn't have the time. And now, this time we can now concentrate and do it properly. To get the police to lock up those LLGs. No need to move around. Voting time, make it a business if we can hire vehicles, whatever way. People come and cast a vote, and they go, and we lock there and start counting, and then we match them and do eliminations. That's the role for ID, vote roll, ID, and photo roll. A longer period of time, do verifications. Polling, centralized polling, present the ID and do the vote, count by LLG, put them together, do the elimination for one electorate, and for the province, same. So that's the kind of picture that we are imagining now towards the future elections going forward in terms of elections. So we are talking real issues here now, the role, the logistics, and the polling and counting. So that's finished. The people must take ownership, and if they are not going to change, we are going to change the system. If you are going to change the system, they have to come to the centralized location. If you are spoiling the ballot box there, so what do you expect me to do? I bring the ballot box, ballot paper to you, and if you are going to spoil it, no, you are not going to change, and I change your way. You come to the location, you come forward and cast a vote here. So we put some control into the system. Control the elections. Instead of leaving loose and they, grab the ballot box, go here and there, causing trouble. So now this time, police are also stretched. We have no manpower. Now we're going to concentrate to district, allocate them. They concentrate there and they start running the elections. But first of all, before they could do that, identify the voters properly. So they are aligned to cancel votes, and cancel votes, we call them by name, and they go straight, cast the vote, and then now the police are taking control of the environment, so we can freely count. There will be no issue, less issues, but can be controlled to some minimum level.